need to know.
Absolutely. Like Doug said, practice doesn't make perfect. It makes what? Permanent. So if we wait too long to provide that feedback to them, they'll just continue doing what they've been doing. If we don't take the time to diligently go through and make sure that the kid is actually grasping the concept by actually grading it and handing it back to them, then they're going to continue to do the same thing over and over, and that's why we have students who do well with classwork, homework categories, but when it comes to the content grade, they're not able to perform at that level. Another thing I've learned about this generation is that giving them that speedy feedback, this is the instant microwave generation. They get excited about receiving that feedback right away because not only is it fresh on their mind, but they care. This is when they actually care. So those are just some things to keep in mind. Self-regulation opportunities. So the three goals of independent learning: self-regulation, opportunities for students to manage their time, monitor their progress, and solve problems. That's all in that gradual release kind of model and mindset. Do they manage their time? What are we doing to help students manage their time? Today, I gave a test over just vocabulary, and of course, a lot of them, we had varying levels, but a lot of them got done early. And their next assignment was to read chapter 5 and complete a dialectical journal entry and make sure to focus on one of these things. Well, how many in here have seen students that no matter how much silent time you give them to just sit and read, they just sit there, right? That's a problem with time management. Or even if they believe that they'll be able to get the reading done before they may not even care to get the reading done. So we just have to make sure that we are taking the steps to get them to that independent reading place. And not everyone is there, And the only way to check to see that they're there is to actually give them that time from time to time and see who can actually do it. Monitor their progress, solve problems. Competence, a chance for students to experience success, and that's a big word. Success based on their abilities and understanding of the effort needed to complete a task. Why do I kind of balance easy assignments with more rigorous ones? Because our kids actually need to feel successful from time, with things. They need an A in order to feel that they can even accomplish these things that we are asking them to do. And then goal setting allows students to gain experience at setting and achieving goals. A critical point to remember is that independent learning is not workbook pages. It's not giving them a handout. It's not just busy work that you're just going to put a check mark on, give them 100 for it, pass it back. In fact, many of our students are counting on that, right? They're counting on us not to look at it. So if they view us as teachers that just give a lot of busy work, and as long as you put something down, you're going to get 100 on it, they're not going to work to the best of their ability. Think about this question. How is silent reading different from independent reading? Or is it? Talk with your seat partners about that.
There's better engagement with high students reading about reptiles than to be a bad and get kicked out of our
So what's independent things? I don't know.
I think I would assume that independent reading was like me prescribing their reading and then doing that.
So it's choice.
That's choice. I thought sustained implied like it's something that they're able to do rather than independent is like right, they're trying this is a time like independent but sustained is like something that they're capable of actually doing that silently as opposed to it sounds like that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the consensus here? Is there a difference?
Yes.
gonna say, independent reading is, supported and has a goal and is, you know, there's feedback and such. Whereas we're assuming that silent sustained reading is not do that, so.
And we
I think you
think
still
that
need
you
to
have to practice, do the sustained silent reading in order to be at the level where you will have that stamina to independently read, and then that's where they're gonna show that they learned whatever the teacher was trying to teach.
Absolutely, I couldn't have worded it better myself. It's purposeful reading. Kudos. So, independent reading means reading thoughtfully chosen texts, not texts that are inappropriate for school, texts that we can fulfill some kind of teaching purpose through, applying what they have been taught about comprehension and applying what they have been taught about, I didn't make this slide. The benefits of independent reading. It provides time for teachers to support the efforts of individuals. It provides time for students to read increasingly complex texts with teacher support. It gives students an opportunity to apply what they have been taught about comprehension. It can build students' background knowledge about topics they are studying. And it increases the volume of reading done by students. I see a lot of students reading all the time around here. So I think that we do a good job by increasing the volume, or they do it intrinsically, independently, and I don't just teach, I teach one honors class, but I see our students do a lot of reading. It helps students develop positive reading attitudes. Students develop positive attitudes toward reading when the teacher offers their learning goals, texts that relate to a student's personal experiences, support on making choices, which is why I recommended for our students sophomore English the other Westmore. Text with interesting topics, instruction in reading strategies, opportunities to collaborate with other students.
For the English department.
So,
about 12:10.
Ms. Sanders, she's
She's
on the
answering
phone.
the phone.
She's doing a lot.
She's doing technology. Let's give it up for Miss Sanders.
Yes, give it up for her. She does a lot around here.
Okay, I'll let Ms. Price know.
Okay.
We have been summoned to the cafeteria to supervise lunch at 12:10. Her Dr. Wiley.
And independent reading remains an important practice. Reading volume matters, and students need to talk about what it is that they're reading, both with their peers, but most importantly with their teacher as well. And that conferring practice is so valuable in being able to capture formative assessment information.
All right, well, we missed that. Well, we did catch the end of it. She talks about formative assessment, and I like to talk about assessments too. If you look at my goal in 10th grade English, it's very clear one goal. It is to make sure that our students score proficient or advance on the EOC. It's an achievement goal. And the more we keep that in mind as we are rolling out all of our lessons, whatever it is, what is the end game? What is the end in mind? We got to make sure that it is always kept in mind when we create our assessments, which is why I am a strong supporter of assessments within the classroom that look like how they're going to be tested in the end. All right. So, we're going to look at one collaborative conversation that we can have with a reading that we have all done, which is Romeo and Juliet. So what are some collaborative group activities that you all have done in reading to support students? So I'm gonna take us through some, we're gonna look at, Romeo and Juliet, but can you think of what you do to support independent reading, of your students within their groups? What are we doing to expand on their comprehension? Because some students read and they pull away from it, they believe that they have not read or understood anything at all. So what are we doing to support a student who is struggling with comprehension?
I give my students like objectives to look for. Like we're reading the yellow wallpaper right now, and so I pose them a question like internal, external struggle, and so I give them something to search in their text for rather than like aimlessly.
Right. I like what you just said, Ms. Fregosa, because, you know, they need to feel like it's not so above their ability to understand what's going on, that when you focus on one thing that they can connect to apart from the reading that is connected to the reading, then all of a sudden the mystery of this comprehension is no longer a mystery, and then it becomes, oh, okay, I get what's going on. So something they connect to personally, something or idea from what they're reading, so that they feel like they can accomplish the reading task. So how many of you have heard of the RAFT? All right, RAFT stands for Role Audience Format. This is what we're going to do, and I think we need paper here. So the topic is Romeo and Juliet's relation and the ladder leading to Juliet's room. All right. So students struggle with Shakespeare. Our roles would be either you are Romeo writing a letter to Juliet, or you are Juliet's mother writing a letter to her father. And just make sure to say something about that ladder leading to her door. And I will, I know I didn't tell you all to come, but you all have your agenda. So let's take about 3 minutes to compose a letter. This is a writing strategy based off of a reading from.
But this would be independently done, right? This wouldn't be a collaborative.
Well, when you read it, the audience, then it would be collaborative when you're sharing out. So.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But that's after you're not actually. Like,
You're gonna read your short letter to your seat partner,
okay.
and your seat partner is your audience.
Okay.
Or we can share out collectively. So let's try a letter.
So it gives them choices of roles.
You're Romeo, you're right.